You've always been weird, but you're no different.
Cyrus admits he has a crush on Jonah, and Bowie proposes to Becks, but will she say yes? Let's break down the Season 2 premiere of ANDI MACK right here on What Happened. How's it going, you lovely people? ANDI MACK kicked off its second season, and as you may have already heard, it made some history for Disney Channel with Cyrus's storyline. It was also an hour-long premiere, which means that there's twice as much stuff to talk about as normal, so let's just go ahead and get the thing kicked off, and I'm going to start with Becks and Bowie. Andi is so eager for Bowie to propose to Becks that she's basically become a little too excited that she's totally moving in on really pushy, annoying territory, trying to rush him to propose. She also has the whole wedding planned out thanks to Buffy's ideas. When Ham and Celia return home, Celia is at first super mad that someone has touched her plants and moved them all around, but when Bowie says he did it and explains why, Celia sees that her plants are thriving, and it looks like all that dislike she used to feel for Bowie has gone away, at least for now. She even helps him get a job at a plant nursery. Yeah, shocking, right? Who is this new Celia? How long will it last? Bowie does end up proposing by pretending to be a pizza delivery guy, and when he opens the box, there's a ring on top of the pizza, and Becks is basically caught off guard and speechless, so much so that her response is neither yes or no. It's Becks says she needs more time, and when she's at work the next day, Brittany tells her that she has a life or death situation, and that situation is that she needs Becks to do her makeup for her sorority's ball. In a weird way though, Brittany tells Becks that she's talented and she should really do makeup for a living out in the real world, not at the fringe. A pizza arrives for Becks, and it's from Bowie, and it has a rose and a card attached to it, and the card says please say yes. We later see Becks on her bed reading a brochure for what looks like a makeup school. Yeah, who would have thought that Brittany would ever have any good advice? Andi returns home and asks how much more time Becks needs to respond to Bowie, and Becks says none, and Andi gets super excited, assuming the answer is yes, and that's why you should never assume things, Andi, because Becks tells her that she can't marry Bowie. As for the Andi and Jonah storyline, Buffy, Andi, and Cyrus learn from Cyrus's girlfriend Iris that Amber and Jonah broke up, and it's for good this time. Iris also tells them that Amber isn't really as bad as they think, she's just really insecure. Jonah then invites Andi, Buffy, and Cyrus to the Space Otter's end of the season party, and Andi's the only one who says she isn't really sure if she wants to go. So Jonah tells her to go if she wants, but not because he wants her to. He also gives her back the bracelet she made for him, saying he doesn't deserve it. When Andi returns home, she's sitting on her bed staring at the bracelet, and then Becks does a really great impression of Jonah.
How did you know?
Becks basically informs Andi that Jonah does like her, but he just maybe needs the right time and place to show her. So Andi now realizes that must be the Space Otter party, and she debates whether she should go or not. Becks then pulls the old heads or tails coin flip on her. Heads for yes and tails for no.
Came up tails. You don't listen to the coin, Dodo. You listen to yourself. You didn't get the answer you wanted, which means you already had the answer.
At the Space Otters party, Cyrus gets his own jersey because he's their MVP, and then after the party, Jonah asks to talk to Andi alone. He tells her he broke up with Amber and that he likes being around Andi more than anyone else, and he hopes that she likes being around him too. And I gotta say, that's a really adorable way to say I like you. Now that they both like each other, you'd think things would be good, right? Well, no, things are now even weirder between them. The two don't really know what to say to each other, and Andi even keeps answering his questions by saying dimples.
Hey guys. Hey, what's going on?
Dimples.
When Amber walks into the Spoon Diner, she ignores Buffy and Andi, and Buffy tells Andi she's won the battle and this is her turf now, but it's like, not so fast, Buffy. Cyrus, Iris, and Jonah arrive and join them, and it turns out that Amber actually works at the Spoon now. She goes outside to talk to Jonah and confides in him that she's working there because her dad lost his job months ago, but only just told them now, and they actually kind of have this nice friend moment. There's no drama, and Jonah promises he won't tell anyone. Meanwhile, Buffy and Andi are at the back of the diner, and Andi's kind of mad that Jonah went outside to talk with Amber, and they hugged, and Andi is just asking Buffy what she should do, so Buffy decides to give her some actually realistic advice. Buffy tells Andi that maybe she actually isn't ready for this type of relationship with Jonah. Maybe they should just be good friends first and then later step into that, dating territory. While I think Buffy's advice sounds actually really good, Andi gets defensive and kind of lashes out at poor Buffy. When Buffy and Andi return to the table, Jonah comes in and they ask him what the whole conversation with Amber was about, but he can't say. Andi's kind of upset and sad, and Buffy knows it, and she tells Jonah that when Andi is sad, well, you don't want to see Buffy when Andi is sad. Jonah is now like, oh crap. I'm kind of scared of Buffy at this point, and he says that he's sorry and leaves, and Andi tells Buffy that that was nice of her to say, but she really shouldn't have said it. Really, Andi, what do you want from Buffy here? She's trying. Andi goes and catches up with Jonah, and she tells him that she doesn't care what he and Amber were talking about. She only cares about what they talk about. And somehow this puts both of them at ease, and then Jonah starts to tease her about the dimple comments, and it seems like they end up talking like they used to. Things are on track here. For Cyrus, he finally introduces Andi and Buffy to his girlfriend Iris. The two then go on a museum date, and as he walks Iris home, Cyrus kind of doesn't know what he's supposed to do, so he starts to do his usual rambling. And then it's like he knows he's supposed to maybe do something like kiss her, but he doesn't. Instead, Iris ends up kissing him, giving him his first kiss, and we see him jump for joy. He can't wait to tell Andi and Buffy the big news the next day that he had his first kiss, and he even blurts it out to Jonah. After the Space Otters party though, when Andi and Jonah are talking inside the pizza place, Buffy and Cyrus are outside watching them because somehow Buffy is able to live stream their conversation on her phone. Like, did she set up some hidden cameras somehow? How is that working? Buffy is really insanely happy for Andi because Jonah likes her and she likes Jonah, and then she asks Cyrus if he's insanely happy for them, and Cyrus says yes, but it kind of seems like he doesn't really mean it. The next day, Buffy meets Cyrus at the Spoon Diner, and he's not his usual cheery self. He seems more somber. He ends up telling Buffy that when he said he was happy for Andi, he was, but he also wasn't. Buffy asks if he was jealous, and when Cyrus nods, she immediately thinks it's because he has a crush on Andi. Cyrus says no, though.
You like Jonah.
Cyrus then says he feels weird and different, and Buffy just has the perfect response for him.
You've always been weird, but you're no different.
He then explains that he is scared to tell anyone else, and Buffy says that he'll be okay, and then that bit of Cyrus humor that we all know and love returns.
This is really bad timing. I just got a girlfriend.
The next day at school, when Cyrus and Buffy leave Jonah and Andi alone in the cafeteria, Cyrus tells Buffy that seeing Jonah and Andi together isn't painful for him, and he wants to actually be able to talk to Andi about it, maybe laugh about it, get advice, and tell her how he's feeling, and maybe even laugh about having a crush on the same guy. But the thing is, he's not ready to tell her yet. Buffy asks what he's gonna do then, because they're obviously going to be seeing Andi and Jonah together a lot, and Cyrus just says he needs Buffy to be patient and non-judgmental with him as he figures it all out. Later at the Spoon Diner, Cyrus brings Iris to join the group, and he's making jokes with her and pulling her chair closer to his, and Buffy is just watching all this, kind of rolling her eyes. So that wraps up this episode. Andi and Jonah seem to really kind of be over that little awkward hill that they had at the beginning of their relationship, not knowing what to, say around each other. Amber and Jonah are actually being friends, which I like, and I hope that Amber kind of stays more nice this season, but we shall see. Becks is also ready to go back to school and have a career. As for Cyrus's storyline, the scene where he came out to Buffy, I felt like it was done so well. Both Joshua Rush and Sophia Wiley acted it great with sincerity, and the way it was written, it felt very real. I do feel a little though for Buffy because it seems like she isn't really sure how she should be handling things with Cyrus now, and since she's the only one who knows, there's no one that she can actually go talk to for advice. Now I want to take a moment to share a few of my favorite moments and lines from this episode.
They're making tea and talking plants. It's the most boring miracle I've ever seen. So, who?
Yeah, a napkin. It's greasy. It's bad luck to sell the skin before you've caught the bear.
I mean, in the real world, this is the fringe. People come here to buy fart machines and socks that smell like bacon.
Now let's look at the promo for the next episode.
It's Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
What did I just do?
Invited the boy you like into the belly of the beast.
You're wearing white, the color of death. But please, come in.
Who is he again?
I just assumed he was Andy's boyfriend. Andy's not allowed to have a boyfriend.
He's Andy's father.
Andy's father.
Bex and I might have some happy news to share soon.
I'll always love you, but that bond is Andy.
Are you okay?
Of course I'm not okay.
Looks like the next episode is not only going to be fun and drama-filled, but also heartbreaking for poor Bowie. Alrighty, now it is time for you to hit the comments down below and let me know what you thought about this episode. What do you think about Cyrus's storyline and how it will progress? Are you happy that Andi and Jonah are finally together? And what do you think is going to happen when Bex tells Bowie her decision? Weigh in, and then you can click right over here for even more of my videos, and I'm going to do my best to try to recap this season of ANDI MACK as it happens, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss one. I'm Lisa, see you next time.